income expense report, personnel committee report.
Yeah, so over the last couple of weeks, we've had several interviews, both for the executive coordinator, the administrative assistant position, and the executive accountant position. We appreciate everybody who came in for an interview. We met with a lot of very qualified, very talented people. There is something coming up under business items that we'll be voting on. We're extending an offer, or we have extended an offer, and we hope that that meets with board approval. She's a very talented woman, very impressive. Not only is she pleasant to talk to, but she has a really extensive, varied resume, and I think she'll really be a good fit here. So we're happy, and we will deal with that later on in the agenda. The event coordinator position, we didn't really have any resumes come through that were promising on that one. And I believe the executive coordinator position will have to go out again for a new advertisement on that one. And we're still waiting. One of our admin candidates was sick and had to postpone her interview. So hopefully very soon she'll get in, and we can deal with that at the next board meeting. But it would be nice to get the staff some help. So, it is top priority.
Really?
So yeah, it's moving along.
Okay. Any questions of Megan? Nicole, any questions of Megan? No? Okay, we'll move on to income expense report.
We'll start with the statement of financial position. We're doing pretty well. Our accounts receivable regular, 92% of the open AR is either current or 1 to 30 days. But I will draw your attention to our accounts receivable regular and our accounts payable regular. We're taking in less than we're spending. It's not a big difference, but it's one we should be watching a little bit. Now that the AEAS is gone, we have no AEAS to worry about in the receivables. And we have $985,000 in grants receivable. A majority of that is the DOT receivable that we just received this week. If we go down, construction in progress, we have received information on the MALZAF that we will probably never see that funding we thought we might get back. Therefore, for the next meeting, we will have the MALZAF out of construction in progress, and it will be in fixed assets. If that money should appear in the next year to 18 months, we will simply put it into miscellaneous income with a note.
Was that around 64,000?
36.
Oh, 36.
Our accounts payable regular are at $260,000. Lovely look, lovely figure. Our accounts payable project was at $3,088,000. We have since paid $2.5 million of that, so we're only, project-wise, we're only having about $525,000 outstanding. The New York State retirement was paid in full in December.
That's the first time in quite a while, right?
You and I
In December?
had paid last year in December also, so we've got
2 years in a row.
2 years in a row.
Excellent.
So if we look at our bank accounts, our construction in progress, and our top 7 vendors, you'll notice that we have to go down into the single digits in the thousands in order to make the top 7 now. So it's good right now that we're being able to keep on top of all of our expenses. Any questions on the statement of financial position? Okay, we go over to the budget to actual report. The only real note on the income, you'll notice the marine terminal revenue is under budget. Our truck loading in December and November were lower than we had anticipated. I think we'll find that when James gives his report that we've probably done in 1 week more than we have in the last 2 months. So I think that trend will turn around in January and February. Our expenses, our salary expenses on the bridge were up in December. Part of it was a bit of winter overtime, but most of it was our vacation buyouts that we do in December. Our maintenance overage in the bridge, most of it is the Jacobson that will carry through. And we ordered some bulk lubricants, oil, things like that, and that will just be used over time. Our bridge maintenance, we didn't have any large steel purchases or any major repairs to do the bridge, so that has come in under budget. Our general expenses, our insurance came in just under budget, and our office equipment is a bit under budget. Our legal expenses are a bit over budget because with only 30 days in November, we got the December invoice, or the November invoice in December, and I think we got the December invoice in December. So we just have a little bit there. Our airport expenses, the employee benefits, I think we may have miscalculated the retirement, which was expensed in December, which is showing the overage there. That should even out over the remainder of the year. Part of the maintenance overage is the striping for the breeze ramp. General expenses, a little of the MAPCO is down a bit because we've had more parking, so we haven't had to underwrite their presence there. And the advertising grant that Anthony was able to get for us helped keep some of our advertising costs down. The industrial park, the grounds maintenance overage that you see there includes the tree removal in Commerce Park. And the general expenses, again, the insurance expense was a little bit under budget. The marine terminal, the overage under employee benefits, most of the unemployment is our ILA members. And maintenance expenses over budget, we were able to have paved some of the really bad areas on the Port Road this fall when we had the upper part done by the border crossing. Any questions on the budget to actual?
Any other questions? So Patty? Bridge traffic report?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. January overall crossings were down 5.8 over 2019. I know I mentioned last month, I believe, or maybe that we were kind of get away from that, but given the current situation with what's happening on the border with tariffs and immigration, I thought we should continue that just to have a measure of what's going on. We need to, basically, maybe that comparison will be just to the last couple of years, not going back all the way to 2019, but I'm staying with this just for now, just because it's probably still in this case, just to get a feel for what's really happening. But I feel we should just maintain that to just kind of know what's going on and what to expect. So anyway, when overall with these numbers, I think some of them are inflated in a good way just because I think when it comes to business and things, things were happening ahead of what was so-called planned or what was going to happen there. I think people, kind of rushed to do some things. So that's just my supposition on that. But I was pleased with the numbers, let's put it that way. So the auto crossings were down 5.1. Truck traffic was down 9.6 over 2019. And overall revenue was down 15,000 over January of 2019, which is really all that matters. And revenue was up $1,200 over 2023 January revenue. But for the calendar year, compared to 2019, the overall loss was 482,860. So, we're still, last year was still showed just how far we are behind, that normal year. Any questions on bridge traffic? I've seen similar trends amongst the BTO, the Bridge and Tunnel Operators Association. They give out their final reports, and we're seeing the same things. And also, they're the larger ones feel the things that are happening right now in a greater amount right now, and they're especially the Canadian authorities. They're the ones that are really nervous about what they're going to see, and it really will have a massive effect on that because we're taught they do such big numbers. Any questions? Nicole?
Good.
I'm good, thank you.
Go to the airport activity report.
Yes, for month January, we conducted 29 flights. We had one canceled flight for the month of January. It was on a Sunday. It was due to 2 inch of ice on the runway. So really, Mother Nature there. We try our best, and we throw everything we had at it, and it wasn't doing it. So we unfortunately had to cancel that flight. In plane was 470 passengers. I look at the past year's number in 2023 and 2024. 2023 we had 274 passengers in the month of January, and 24 we had 258. So I think we're doing way better than what we're at this stage. And then completion was still up at 93%, and then on time. And again, North Country weather, we're trying our best to get everything out on time. And I do thank everybody who's understanding. Our guys are out there trying to get the plane out on time. So, and just a little bit of update. Today we had our inaugural flight for Orlando, which was great. We got the flight out. We had an impressive load factor of 90%. Was full. Passenger were really happy that they get to fly, convenience direct from, close to home. A lot of our passenger are locals for the first flight, which is really amazing. And again, we had media coverage, which, everybody had. We had some passenger did interviews, and some of them were really, really impressed, that they get to drive 10, 15 minutes down the road and fly right to a Sunshine State. So our next steps really just to monitor, your ticket sales. We've been doing really well with Tuesday ticket sales. That's been going around, and I think a lot of people are getting used to it, and they're telling people, hey, if you gotta get a ticket, why don't go in on Tuesday? You can get it for a better price rather than online. So we've been seeing a lot of that. And again, just to tracking the overall performance of the route, the MCO routes, our Sunday flight were up 95% load factors for Sunday flights. And then the next Thursday flight, I think we're looking at, so far it's been updated, I think we're in the 80% also, and we still have some time. And they're lowering the price of the tickets to $69 one way now for that Thursday flight, just to boost some more passenger on that flight. But overall, for for the month, for the first February month, we're looking at almost 80% load factors overall.
Wow.
Which still has a lot of room to work with. I'm sure Anthony will update a little bit more on the marketing effort, but we've been working really close with them to get that number up. And then we're really pleased with the result of the flight. Besides that, also, we've been seeing with the de-ice capabilities, we've still been seeing continuous trend of a lot of your GA flights coming in for de-ice. Corning's really impressed. They've been really pleased with our operations of our guys getting them in and out, getting their personnel in and out, and we're really pleased that we'll be able to accommodate that with Corning. But besides that, no, it's been a great month so far.
Good.
That's great.
And thank you and your staff for everything they did today to see that the first flight not only landed and filled up with passengers, but took off again. And as of this time now, we know they've already landed in Orlando.
They have.
So that's good. Very good.
I'd like to make just a quick comment,
Sure.
if I could. I also took a flight out of Ogdensburg to DC, and as I was going through the whole TSA process, it's all very contained right there. There were multiple agents, word of mouth, telling everyone about the Tuesday tickets, which I thought was great. And on the plane, people were chatting, "Oh, hey, did you know?" So I think that's really fantastic. And I just happened to be on the one flight was canceled due to weather coming back. But I will say, I know, right? But the refund process was seamless. Great customer service from Breeze.
Good.
It was via text message, but
Yep.
it was great. So, yeah.
Good.
I think it's going to be really great for our region seeing those flights to Orlando. I'm excited. I might just have to get on a plane soon. Again, try my luck again.
Spring or summer.
Yeah.
They've got room next Thursday.
Just don't come back on a Sunday.
There you go. Just can't, Mother Nature does her thing.
No, for sure. Nicole, any questions?
No questions. Just exciting that there's momentum moving in the right direction.
Yes. We get through this, maybe we see 6 o'clock news. Board activity report?
Okay, for the month of January, a quick road salt summary. Obviously, we all live locally and know that recent weather events have increased the need for DOT counties to keep the roads safe. For the month of January, we averaged around 10,800 tons per week. Through January, so basically from September to January, that is a total of 66,000 tons that we have loaded out the door. As Patty said, things have definitely increased. Just this week alone, we've put over 13,000 tons out the door in 3 days. So we're with the help of the ILA and CSEA, staff are putting out numbers that I don't think have ever been touched before. And just want to take this moment to thank everybody here, because it wouldn't be done without the equipment upgrades and everything that collectively everyone does. Other port matters, we have corn gluten products still continuing to be received and trucked out. The Great Lakes Seaway removed their winter markers, or their buoys, and installed their winter markers for the season. Staff and myself are working on some logistics with a ro-ro operation scheduled for May. And to fill everyone in on a ro-ro, it would be a barge, receiving a barge. The barge provides ramps. The items on the barge would then be loaded onto a truck and then driven off the barge to then either be delivered direct to site or stored in the terminal. Some of that still has to be a fairly significant lighting upgrade to one of our longtime outstanding tenants, taking about 200 8-foot and 4-foot T8 fixtures and installing a 1-foot by 2-foot LED, which is great for our energy footprint, and it'll increase visibility and safety for, part of that area is a production area with forklift and traffic. And so that's been a few week process, but that'll be a nice project for the tenant and ourselves. The terminal is now functioning with city water. That has all been hooked up. I just wanted to take this time to let everybody know. I'm not sure if that was known yet.
Good. Finally.
Big milestone.
Mhm. So, the remaining salt that's down on the port, is it just the 51,000 tons?
Yeah. And a lot of it, at this point, we've got a lot of cleanup to do, to where we're working with the customer on production has been so quick that we now just need to start working on cleaning up product and creating more product.
So the pile that was
That
closest to the
number,
dock,
that number is from the end of January, so the
Keep
last
in
2
mind.
weeks.
Yeah,
It's quite a ways down. You
could
basically
subtract
take
20
almost 25 or 30.
I noticed we're taking from the pile
East of
closer
Building
to
5.
where you go into the port.
Yes.
Yep.
So the pile that was on the dock, gone?
Yeah, other than there's some cleanup and some chunks that we need to go back and just address. And
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
The point is all gone. Yeah.
So all we have left, well, would be less than 50,000 tons.
Yeah, it's probably going down to
in the
I'd say
20s.
35
Yeah.
or even more.
And we could get 2 feet of snow over the weekend.
Right.
Mr. Chairman, though, you do remember the legislation that went in 2 years ago demanding that all salt being imported into the state either be New York State or US,
Yes.
which prohibited some Canadian companies from entering into contracts that required that. So
That
I
we felt
believe-
that that wasn't
it's just not the weather that there's a shortage.
right.
It's
So what happens across New York State? I'm assuming a lot of the state may be in the same predicament we are, that we're low on salt. Then what happens?
we're just a depot. When we're out, we're out. We don't
Right.
that we don't get into contracts. We just handle whatever the customer, our customer has there, and when it's out, it's up to them to figure out how they have to fill their own contracts.
Have any idea what the level of the pile over in Johnstown is?
I do not.
They generally run about 600,000.
600.
And we have certain Canadian companies used to be able to handle their contracts. When we ran out here, they'd export it across the bridge
Yes.
and fill contracts there. Vice versa, when we had Canadian companies over here that they had a shortage over there, but that doesn't happen now because of that state legislation.
Right. Okay. Any other questions of James? Nicole? No? Okay, we'll move on to the economic development report, including building occupancy.
Great. So occupancy report holding steady. We were notified that we will not have one of our tenants renewing, which is actually kind of odd for the past 3 years. So you will see hopefully just a temporary decrease next month. but we're working to make sure that's very temporary. So over the past month, we've been working with Breeze, as Charlie alluded to, extensively on developing marketing assets to get up in the Ottawa market. Locally, we worked with two organizations, Ogdensburg Minor Hockey Association and the Brockville Winter Classic in Brockville, to do a ticket donation as a fundraiser for those organizations. And for Brockville, that'll be this weekend. It's actually part of a or not a silent auction, but it's part of an auction, and they're packaging it together with one of the benefactors of the Winter Classic as a vacation home in Orlando. So Breeze is contributing 4 round trip tickets in the nice bundle, and then packaged with the essentially the Airbnb, the home. That'll be that prize. And then for Ogdensburg Minor Hockey, that's going to be they're selling raffle tickets for 4 round trip tickets as well. So that's pretty neat. And that's just kind of a testament to Breeze and their commitment to the community of that more organic approach to getting the word out of what they're doing. I'll just pass around some of what we have going on right now in Ottawa through Post Media. So some of those images show up on bus station shelters, mobile billboards, things of that nature. So that's currently active. We're working with a Clarkson University marketing research student team who will be doing a catchment study for us, which is something we've had on our radar for a long time. Haven't had the people power to put it together, so they're helping, and that's what really that's going to do. That's going to help us better understand who our customer is, where they're coming from, and how we can kind of get in touch with them better through future marketing efforts. Just kind of a couple of things else this month. I had a good opportunity to meet with a researcher from the National Renewable Energy Lab in Toronto. They received a Department of Energy grant for potential alternative fuel supply for Great Lakes Seaway Green Shipping Corridor Network. And it was nice because we were included as one of only 4 ports as part of this preliminary study. So we were with Milwaukee, Chicago, and Hamilton, and then Ogdensburg. So that was pretty neat. So it was very early stages of just finding out what we're doing currently and what the potential is down the road for alternative fueling for vessels. And then we've had some good meetings with some new companies about locating in the Commerce Park. I think a lot of that's driven by the fears of tariffs coming down the pike. So there's potentially a silver lining if certain legislation goes in a certain direction to where we may benefit, especially with the foreign trade zone. There's been interest on that front.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yep. So there's potential goodness out of everything.
In the foreign trade zone, they don't, you can get components from everywhere, have a finished product, and then everything is based on that finished product, not the components.
Correct. So there's an inverted duty situation to where the raw material, the inputs are tariffed at a higher percentage than the finished good. So you can manufacture within a foreign trade zone and then import the finished product in the United States. And at a minimum, you're deferring those duties that you would pay, or you're potentially eliminating them. So it's a neat program, very for specific things. Yes.
I wonder, and I know it's early in this situation with tariffs and everything, but if you receive components from who knows where, and the FTZ, of course, is here, and it's put together by American workers, would that be stamped made in America and not subject to a tariff?
Typically assembled in America. Yep.
Close enough.
Yes. Yeah. Just like a lot of the vehicles and things like that. Yeah. Worldwide components come together, assembled.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear you're on top of it.
Yeah, I'm actually sitting for a 2-day training at the end of the month to just brush up on some things.
Good.
Also, I want to mention Anthony on his own attends one class a week?
Yeah, so I'm auditing
Go
a
ahead.
introduction to semiconductor class that Clarkson University offers. So just with all the kind of economic development, the big projects that are happening in the state, it's been a good opportunity to learn more about the industry and the supply chain. And it's really based on guest speakers, a different guest speaker every week. There actually is going to be a guest speaker for one of the companies that is investing in New York State. And then there's another company in particular that's the manufacturer of the semiconductor, the chip manufacturing equipment. So which is typically 70% of a fab's cost is the equipment. So
Good. Have you introduced yourself to the new president?
not yet. She's,
Let her know that she can fly in and out of here.
yep. Great. Just want to do the walkthrough at this point. Okay.
Yeah, we got a little visual treat here that I think you'll appreciate.
Oh, wow.
It relates to the airport terminal
This is like big time.
and
Sorry, we didn't bring Andy this time.
So this is the video walkthrough of the terminal.
Can Nicole see this?
I believe so. If not, I will.
Not yet. I'll let you know when I can.
Hold on 1 second then.
there you go.
Yes, it's up there. It's up there for. Yeah.
You can still see it? Okay.
Yeah.
This is the new entryway plaza. As you come in, as you can see, there's the airport specific on the right, great room on the left, or directly in front of us.
All that glass right now is all in. That what you're looking at right now is all in.
Wow.
Oh,
We were standing right here today, right, Steve?
Yeah.
Just the other side of the door here.
Right about there.
But
do you have your vest on?
no, I did. So I covered them. The bathrooms are already framed.
That's the new security area. Ticketing. Now you start getting into the great room.
So stop right there, Anthony. Right across there will be a dividing wall for events
Okay.
right here that going this way.
Right.
So they don't have to see
Right
the
there.
ticketing
So
area.
that would cordon off the whole large area.
Mhm.
If Charlie doesn't have any flights coming in, and we can do that. But that'll be more of a difficult one to pull off, especially if we're busy. But if we're busy, we like that too. So anyway,
Right.
go ahead, Anthony. Sorry.
No.
Well, I'll let you go through and then we
So you can, right
we can run
there
through
in the
again.
great room, you can see out onto the,
You'll see.
And then the glass. the windows.
Oh, yeah.
Much nicer plane.
And then you'll come in, there's the baggage.
Baggage claim will be.
And the
Okay.
map of the area of the river is right on the back wall,
I love
graphic.
that. That's so nice.
Then you'll see our new boardroom straight ahead, the orange chairs.
Display screen, cafe.
You'll get a lot of public attendance then. Now, you showed the big screen. Did you point to?
The big screen.
That's my wish list there, but it's what, 131 inches, 32?
Where's
Yeah,
that?
right
That-
there
Right
where you
there?
see
Piece
that.
of artwork.
That'll be able to be used for
So
events.
you can use it
Really?
as a backdrop for a conference or a seminar, and it's all kind of panelized. It's not one whole big screen.
Oh,
Aren't we under another?
Right
Area
right there,
that we-
yes, right there,
Yeah.
that's a divider.
Right.
It'll come back around.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
well, and then off to your left, you see the cafe,
Love that. BOGS.
and in the back is the restrooms and storage and backroom stuff. And then that folding door,
This will open,
it's accordion door,
indoor, outdoor flow.
and you can bring things in for an event, whether it's boats or cars or whatever.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
This is where you can basically section off the area so you can have full airport operation and still have an event, smaller scale event.
Questions?
very nice.
I love that. So
It's
exciting.
beautiful.
Yeah, we plan on using it for, future stuff, but mostly like if you want cafe vendors We want them, sometimes it's hard to go in there and show all the construction and get a feel. That gives them a finished feel of what and it's gonna be, I don't know, colors and things, it's pretty accurate here with the orange, but anyway, we feel that's gonna be a good way to attract vendors, maybe not, but as you see, as you come in, the airport's this side and the break room's there.
Yeah.
Yet, they're all intertwined, but when you think of it that way, that could function all on its own with the airport, with the exception of the baggage thing. Charlie, you have anything to add that you see on that would be helpful or anything like that?
No, that's actually what you're looking at there. I actually been inside the thing, and that structure is actually coming together. Now you can kind of see the bare bone of it, but I think it'll be a pretty great dual usage. And again, for our size of airport, that blank time that we didn't have flights, I think it's great usage for that room over there on the other side.
Your office is gonna stay where it is now?
I believe is relocating somewhere else back in the office hallways,
Out of public view.
out of public view. That's correct.
No one's banging on it.
Nobody's banging on the door. Good, looks good. Nicole, any questions? No? Good.
No, it's
Is that
it's
it?
gorgeous. I can't wait to see it when it's finished.
That's it.
Anthony?
Thank you.
All set? All right. Any unfinished business, Mr. Lawrence?
No, Mr. Chairman.
All right, going to business items. General administration, A1.
Appointment of executive accountant. After thorough review and evaluation of those applications selected for further consideration, interviews were conducted with candidates for the position of executive accountant. Based on the results of those interviews, it is recommended that Andrea Lauren be appointed to the position of executive accountant at a starting salary of $70,000, prorated for a start date of 3/10/25, with a 6-month probationary period and management confidential benefits.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll move it.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, this was the individual brought forward from the personnel committee, correct, Megan?
Yes, it is. She's really a pretty tremendous background with a lot of things that tie into what we do at the OBPA. She's got transportation, real estate. I mean, she's a pretty impressive candidate, and I think she'll really fit nicely with the culture here too. So I highly recommend that this go.
Good. Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Somebody's calling roll?
Anybody?
Ms. Pittman?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Ms. Terminelli? Motion carries.
Thank you. Agenda item A2.
Okay, approval of.
Oh.
Two-sided.
The employment agreement.
Well, you're doing so well today, too. Jeez, you just had to take the shine right off of that.
I love the enthusiasm.
Step aside.
Stephen J. Lawrence was appointed Executive Director of the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority at the March 4th, 2021 board meetings. The employment agreement with Mr. Lawrence affirmed that he would serve as Executive Director of the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority for a period from April 8th, 2021 through April 7th, 2024. A new employment agreement has been created to extend Stephen J. Lawrence's service as Executive Director of the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority from April 8th, 2024 through and including April 10th, 2026, subject to the terms and conditions of the attached agreement.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion?
My only complaint is just to 26. Just, that's it? No?
For now.
Can't do 28, 30?
Keep going.
Jeez.
Megan, I'm so glad you said that. I was thinking the same thing.
That's my, well,
You're too kind. Thank you.
Yeah, good. I agree. It'll be nice to go out further. But I think Steve, I have other plans in the future and good for him. It's not a bad thing to be retired.
yeah.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Ms. Terminelli?
Yeah.
And Ms. Pickman?
Yes.
Thank you. That's something we should have done sooner. But- Agenda item B1.
Hey.
There we go.
You don't want to skip that first one. It's important. Approval of lease supplement number 6 with Demers Incorporated. Staff has negotiated lease supplement number 6 with Demers Incorporated for 120 square feet of office space in Suite 201A of the Bridge Administration Building for a 1-year period commencing February 1st, 2025 and terminating January 31st of 2026 at a rate of $21 per square foot, equaling $210 per month, $2,520 for the 1-year period, inclusive of utilities. All of the terms and conditions of the original lease agreement shall remain in full force and effect and are hereby ratified and affirmed.
Thank you. Motion?
Also move.
Second?
Second.
Made and seconded. Any discussion? Patty, call the roll, please.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Ms. Terminelli? Ms. Pickman?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes. Agenda item D1.
Sure, if you want to do that.
Yeah,
One of you. It's a new deal.
yeah, I'll do it. Approval of purchase of New Deal blend runway de-icer. Runway safety is critical and OBPA OGS is responsible for the safe operation of aircraft on its runway in all weather conditions. Due to the climates in the North Country, it is necessary to prepare for and implement a snow and ice control plan. New Deal blend de-icer is an approved FAA de-ice material that has been used with success in the past winter weather events at OGS. The material comes in 2 1,000-pound bags per pallet at $2,356 per pallet. Staff requests the purchase of 4 pallets of de-icing chemicals with a cost of $9,424, with an additional $952.37 in shipping, totaling $10,376.37.
Thank you. Motion
So move.
made and seconded. Any discussion?
Well, I think today has made this really,
Yeah.
really on point. And it's nice that we got our flight out despite the inclement weather today. So I think that kind of drives home the importance of investing in this kind of thing.
Absolutely. Call the roll, please.
Ms. Terminelli? Ms. Pickman?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Agenda item D2.
Agenda item D2, if you'll notice, there's a aviation capital project agreement. And in that, there are, the next 3 resolutions have to be approved by the board so that we may finish this agreement with New York State to get reimbursed for the New York State portion of these this agreement, and you'll see them in each of them. But they were all, you'll see on this, in this, they mentioned the 3 items that the DOT will be paying for. So I had to split them off into 3 resolutions. So the next 3 are all associated with this agreement. Item D2, it's the approval of a grant offer with New York State Department of Transportation to construct terminal renovation and expansion bid package phase 2. The New York State Department of Transportation, New York NYSDOT is requesting that the Augsburg Bridge and Port Authority receive board approval to execute a NISDOT PIN 7903.16 grant offer. In anticipation of the NISDOT grant offer, it is requested that the board pre-approve the executive director to sign the fiscal year 2024 grant application bill AIG grant offer to the Augsburg Bridge and Port Authority in the amount of $12,500 to construct terminal renovations and expansion. Bid package phase 2 is listed below. Project description: the expansion of existing passenger terminal building design, renovation of existing passenger terminal building design. Financing participation is as follows. The FAA, 95%, $475,000. New York State DOT Transportation, 2.5%, $12,500. The Augsburg Bridge and Port, 2.5%, $12,500 for a total of $500,000. Staff requests for pre-approval to accept the grant offer with New York State Department of Transportation upon receipt of the grant offer.
Thank you. Motion
So moved.
I'll second.
and seconded. Any discussion?
We'll just also make you aware that we have paid the New York, is this, you gonna say the right thing? We have already paid for the New York State portion of all of these. So in order to get reimbursed for that, that's why we're doing that. I don't know if I mentioned that. So it's, we've already taken care of these, but we need to get that money back.
Definitely.
Yeah. Tomorrow.
Really pretty important.
Yeah.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Pickett?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Ms. Terminelli?
Agenda item D3.
Agenda item D3 is the approval of a grant offer with New York State Department of Transportation to construct terminal renovation and expansion. The New York State Department of Transportation, NISDOT, is requesting that the Augsburg Bridge and Port Authority receive board approval to execute NISDOT project identification number, which is PIN 7903.17 grant offer. In anticipation of the NISDOT grant offer, it is requested that the board pre-approve the executive director to sign the NISDOT fiscal year 2024 entitlement funds grant offer to the Augsburg Bridge and Port Authority in the amount of $52,632 to construct the terminal renovation and expansion in bid package phase listed below. Project description: expand the existing terminal by 1,424 square feet, renovation of the existing hold room, including hold room area and baggage area, phase 1 construction, reconstruct 2,496 square feet of existing terminal, including hold room and public bathrooms, phase 1 construction. Financing participation is as follows. Federal Aviation, 95%, $2 million. New York State Department of Transportation, 2.5%, $52,632. The Augsburg Bridge and Port Authority, 2.5%, $52,532 for a total of $2,105,264. The OBPA approved the FAA entitlement grant offer of $105,264 at the August 8th, 2024 board meeting. Staff requests pre-approval to accept the grant offer agreement with the New York State Department of Transportation upon receipt of the grant offer.
Thank you. Motion
I'll second.
Second.
made and seconded. Any discussion? Patty, call the roll, please.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Ms. Terminelli?
Yes.
And Ms. Pickett?
Yes.
Agenda item D4.
Agenda item D4, approval of grant offer with New York State Department of Transportation to construct terminal renovation and expansion bid package phase 2. The New York State Department of Transportation, NISDOT, is requesting that the Augsburg Bridge and Port Authority receive board approval to execute a NISDOT grant offer In anticipation of the NISDOT grant offer, it is requested that the board pre-approve the executive director to sign the fiscal year 2024 grant application. Bill AIG grant offer to the Augsburg Bridge and Port Authority in the amount of $67,502 to construct terminal renovation and expansion. Bid package 2, phase 2 is listed below. Project description: expand the existing terminal by 3,508 square feet, including ticket lobby, baggage screening, and baggage claim. Phase 2 construction: reconstruct 3,625 square feet of existing terminal, including ticket lobby, baggage screening, baggage claim. Phase 2 construction. Financing participation is as follows: Federal Aviation Administration, $2,565,051. New York State Department of Transportation, 2.5%, $67,502. Augsburg Bridge and Port Authority, 2.5%, $67,502, for a total of $700,054. The OBPA approved the FAA entitlement grant offer of $2,700,054 at the August 8th, 2024 board meeting. Staff requests board pre-approval to accept this grant offer agreement with the New York State Department of Transportation upon receipt of the grant offer.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Made and seconded. Any discussion? If not, Patty, call the roll, please.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Ms. Terminelli?
Yes.
Ms. Bismuth?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes. Agenda item D5.
Agenda item D5, approval of task order number 3 with McFarland Johnson for SWPPP and SPCC plan updates. McFarland Johnson, Inc. has provided the authority with task order number 3 to include a scope of work to provide professional services, to provide professional environmental and planning services for the completion of the SWIP and SPCC plan updates at the Augsburg International Airport, OGS, or Airport, Augsburg, New York. The project will be conducted in compliance with the terms and conditions of the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, New York State DEC, State Pollution Discharge Elimination System, SPDES, Multi-Sector General Permit, MSGP, for stormwater discharge associated with industrial activity. Effective March 8th, 2023, and the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, Spill Prevention, Control, and Countermeasures, SPCC Regulations 40 CFR Part 112. The cost of task order number 3 is $24,327. Is funded by the OBPA. The 5-year agreement for professional engineering services between Augsburg Bridge and Port Authority and McFarland Johnson for professional services at the Augsburg International Airport dated May 11, 2023 shall govern all task orders. Staff recommends approval of this task order number 3 agreement with McFarland Johnson.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? So is this because it has to be updated every so many years?
Yeah, every 5.
Or has there been a change in anything?
Nope, it's every 5 years this gets updated.
So part of the reason McFarland Johnson did it is because we've designated them for 5 years as our engineering service at the airport, correct?
Yes.
So this is just an update
Correct.
to satisfy state and federal requirements?
Yep, exactly.
And I did ask if there was any funding available from the FAA, and this is not covered by that. So I did ask the question, because it is a lot of money.
Yeah. It has to be done, obviously. But You know how I feel about task orders or change orders or anything like that. Thank you.
Noted.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Terminelli?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
That was moved and seconded, wasn't it?
Yes.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yes. Megan, if you moved, I seconded.
I got distracted. I forgot where we were at.
Let's get that question, right?
I wanted to make sure.
Oh, see, I had actually marked certain things. I see it was dated 2018, that ran out in 2023. And what they're doing. I think I have a question regarding no survey, sampling, or monitoring activities are included.
No what? Sorry.
It says no survey, sampling, or monitoring activities are included. So they're just
As in-
coming up with a plan, they're not actually testing anything, correct?
No, just bring
Just a
everything up
plan.
to current, but have to look at everything that we're doing too. You don't just take what's on paper, they have to look around, but they don't anticipate that. That's probably why they're saying that. And if there is, then there's an added cost.
Yes,
That's-
that's why I started. Okay, throwing things at me. Okay. I take it there are other such matters.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, there is.
Agenda item H1.
Approval of new airport parking system. The Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority decided to pay off its loan with MAPCO Auto Parks and give notice of termination of parking janitorial contract. The termination of this service from MAPCO will be June 30th, 2025. The current parking system at the Ogdensburg International Airport does not work, and there is no technical support or replacement parts to keep it running. Currently, an adapted system using the entry ticket and a square, little thing that goes on the computer, is being used to pay for parking. In considering a new system, the authority wanted some means of communication with its 24-hour toll booth in order to be able to address after hours with parking concerns. To that end, the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority reached out to its toll system provider, E-Transit, to see if they could quote a parking system at the airport. E-Transit returned with a quote for 2 new entry self-serve kiosk machines, 2 new exit self-serve kiosk machines, and 2 new pay-on-foot self-serve kiosk machines for a total cost of $250,000. Staff recommends accepting the E-Transit quote so that both parking and toll systems can interact with each other and the two systems are under one.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
A second?
I'll second.
And our discussion.
So it's in connection with this, is that what we're talking about?
Right, they'll be able, if after hours you can't get out,
Mhm.
you can call here, and even if it's to move the lever to
Right.
get you out.
I think that's really so important for just overall administration, right? There's gotta be some cost savings in.
E-Transit handles everything there. They've been here since what? When was
It's
that?
14, 15 years.
2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have some solid,
Yeah, performance with that.
experience.
Yeah.
And the one thing I like about this is if someone comes in to use the EV chargers and they have a problem getting out, I mean, part of the EV chargers is for community use.
Mhm.
So they need to be able to have a way to get out if there's a problem, not only if a flight is late or something happens like that.
So the pay on foot. I'm thinking when we're up at the hockey games in Ottawa, how you pay for parking? Is it like that?
Yeah, you pay before you go outside and your ticket gets
Like a QR code.
gets us stamped or something. And then when you go to the exit, you just put it under a reader and it reads. And then the thing goes up and out you go.
What's
A
that?
lot of parking garages use
Mhm.
that now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm just thinking up there, while you're in the parking lot, you just put your phone up to the QR code
Mm-hmm.
and
You
pay
pay
right
for it,
there, and
yep.
that's it.
No, one of the exit lanes will be able to take credit cards
Oh.
so that we don't have to have a big, huge lineup when somebody goes, oh my, I forgot to pay before I left the building.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, we're going to try and entice people to pay inside.
Right.
These machines will have the ability to take, we will have an ATM, and you can get the change to pay, so that if you don't have a credit card, which most people do, but
Right.
just in case, there would be the option of using cash.
Good to have the option.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's nice.
Because most places, like I say, hockey games, there's no option.
Yeah, there's no cash.
No.
Even
I
like
know.
It's all done by
meters and
card.
stuff, or-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the way it's gone to.
And this is actually less than what we paid for the system we have now.
Yeah, how about that?
Although, technology evolves,
True,
and we've had this for some time.
that's true. Okay, good?
Yeah.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. We've had discussion. Any further discussion? Nicole, anything? No. All right, Patty, call the roll.
I don't know where I left off. So,
Me either.
Ms. Whitten,
Yes.
Mr. Manelli,
Yes.
Ms. Bickman,
Yes.
Mr. Burns.
Yes. Is that the only one?
That's the only one.
All right. Okay, then in light of that, no other business. Is there any concluding comments from staff or any members? Is anyone online other than Jen?
There's, no one left.
No. Much for that. All right, in light of that, is there a motion? Oh, wait a minute, before we do that, we have the next meeting proposed March 13th at 5. March 13th. Ooh. Is that all right?
Or with the 10.
10, 11, or 12?
Yeah, but I think I picked the 10 because we're going.
10's fine.
We're all going.
We're all going. So the 13th is good,
It is.
It is.
Megan?
I might have to, I can make the 13th, but I'm gonna have to scoot out early. I've got my elementary school's instrumental spring recital is that evening, so I'll need to be in attendance, and that begins at 7 o'clock. So I should be there a little bit early to help chaperone children.
We'll put it online for you.
Okay, that's perfect.
I can attend remotely.
That'll help.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
all right. Then in light of that, and somebody, that secretary sitting over in the corner, he could contact those other board members down here. If he can do that, I don't know if he's qualified. You never know. So in light of that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Okay, we stand adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks all.
Cool.